Okay, so I've just put a little bit of information together to explain the Isagenix pay plan. It's really simple once you get to know it, I suppose, like most things. However, of course, it does take a little bit of understanding just to get there in the first place. But I'm going to dive straight in. So, just a little bit of an introduction to the Isagenix company and brand. So, it's got a 14 years rich heritage with tested and proven products. Not only that, the systems and leaders that are being put in place here in this UK pre-launch situation are absolutely phenomenal. I'm sure that should you show a further interest and should you wish to take some further information, get added into the groups, etc., you'll get to meet some of these leaders. They're all open and available to answer your questions. Lots of interaction going on, that kind of thing. They are 20 and 30-year veterans. Just to name one of the guys who I'm working with at the moment, was a close personal friend of Jim Rowan, shared a stage with him many times over in Las Vegas, as well as rubbing shoulders with the likes of Eric Worre and others besides when they were just getting started in their businesses too. So a really great heritage all round, both company, systems and leaders. That's reflected corporately by the fact that it's multi-award winning, in the top 20 odd growing companies in the world. Setting only the highest of standards as they go along. So that relates to the product itself, which we'll cover in more detail in a different presentation. But just to let you know, we're talking about nutritionally whole food. We're not talking about powders and potions that are made in a lab from chemicals and other such things that might create the illusion of satisfaction but actually provide no nutritional benefit. We're talking about nutritionally whole meals, albeit in that powder form. Again, that's reflected in the unparalleled industry ethics that are contained within Isagenix and within this team, obviously also. In as much as there is a level playing field for everyone to take part. Obviously, the main thing that anyone brings to them to a network marketing opportunity is their little black book, their list of contacts, and from there, the rest of the systems that are put in place are taken care of. With a view to getting that person started and onto a great start. So the one last thing on this slide, I guess, is that it's a brand new opportunity. So even though it's got this 14-year heritage, even though there are amazing things in place, it is nonetheless brand new. This pre-launch opportunity is going to come but once for the UK, and not only that, in September time we're going to be moving swiftly on to Belgium, Netherlands, Germany and Austria, with a view to European domination on top of the 11 countries that Isagenix is opening already. Okay, so how do we get paid? The important thing. So as with most opportunities, you have the opportunity to buy at a wholesale price and sell the products at a retail price, and that's at up to 30% profit, sorry. But unlike a lot of other companies, there's no qualifications to meet in terms of earning and generating that profit. There is a varying profit range per product between roughly about 22 and 30%. But nonetheless, whether you're a brand new person making that very first sale, or whether you're an old hat veteran who's sold many tens or hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of product, then that same profit margin is available to all. As with all modern companies, we have the option to refer customers to our website and our personal website and make that purchase, whether it be a one-off time to help them get in shape or feel better, to create some mental clarity, to help with other health issues they might be ailed with, or whether it be an ongoing thing for a health and well-being approach. In essence, the way that we get paid is across two teams. So everyone that gets started is an independent business centre owner or an associate for short terms, and they then set about to develop two teams. Between those two teams, every time 900 BVs, or BV is sometimes known as points, it's sometimes known as other things, but basically it's a point value that's allocated by the company to make the sales value equal across all the markets it operates in. Roughly, we're speaking somewhere in the region between £1,200 and £1,300. Those figures have yet to be confirmed yet, though, I have to say, but just to give you an idea. So every time that 900 BV is accumulated in sales volume, then that triggers a 6% bonus, which roughly equates to around that £45 mark. In addition to that, we have matching bonuses available. So once you've set your structure in place and you're working with your collection of leaders, then it's only right that, of course, you're rewarded for helping them, coaching, guiding them along the way, as well as helping them get started in the first place. And that's reflected in 10% of their bonus values, their cycles, their 6%, 10% of that, in addition to theirs, is paid to you too. And then finally, in terms of the different elements, we have the leadership pools. So this is where it gets really interesting. So 2% of global profits are shared across the network each year, and that takes the form of shares. So every time you qualify at a certain level, every time you generate a certain amount of sales, as you do in all the things that we do here in network marketing land, then a certain amount of shares will be allocated to you. Your shares are then added together, and a proportion of that multi-million pound pool allocated to you. That can be a few £100, it can be several thousand, it can even run into hundreds of thousands of pounds. So 3 different ways to get paid on that one lot of work, a really great way of going about it. One last thing that's perhaps worth mentioning is that it's not particularly a feature of the pay plan in terms of how we get paid. However, it is relevant because not only do we get paid on the entirety of the business, so there's no getting paid on 3 or 4, 5 or 6, maybe even 7 generations, which are all really lovely and work very well. We, however, get paid on the entirety of the business, and even when the pay plan caps out, as they all do, around that £10,000 or £11,000 a week mark, then rather than stunting our growth and watching the business grow further deeper and has received no reward or benefit from that, we're then given the opportunity to re-enter directly above ourselves, which is quite a novel feature, I have to say in my experience, to re-enter above ourselves, build an additional leg and receive additional rewards for that. Very lucrative indeed. So quite literally unlimited earning potential. So that all sounds very good. So where do we start? Well, we start at the beginning. It's a very good place to start, as the song says. So we start with that retail business centre. It's you and your business in a box. So we get started, we place an order for whatever pack is relevant to us. There's going to be 6 different packs available on launch at the end of April, varying in price according to obviously the products contained within it. And we get those ordered and then set up our monthly recurring order for our products, not only for us to try and enjoy ourselves, share with family, etc., but also, should you choose, to then sell that at the retail price and recuperate not only the money but profit on top. So what's included in that? Well, ordinarily there would be a membership fee, but as soon as we're in this pre-launch phase, and even for 1 month after launch, so up until the end of May, there'll be no joining fee whatsoever. It's normally around £30 per year. And that's whether you're a customer or whether you're an associate looking to build a business with us too. So for that, you would get a personal website where obviously your customers and associate can go along and can take a look at the product range and place that order. We get the instant wholesale buying discount. So as I mentioned before, that full 22 to 30% profit, depending on the product, is available from that very first purchase. Again, whether you're a customer or an associate, a really great scheme. And then also we have the opportunity on how to be shown, how to introduce the products to others, to share love, like, and crack on as we do. So then as we do here in the world of network marketing, then we will generally share the opportunity with other people. Now, not to say that this is a requirement or it's necessary in any way. It may be that you wish to become a customer to enjoy the benefit of the products at a wholesale or a discount price, and that's absolutely fine. So this next slide, in fact the next several, are specifically aimed at people who would be looking at developing a business. So the first thing that we do is introduce the first person. Let's say, for example, we put them into our left team, and then the second person there on the right. So by doing that, we've actually qualified for our first status upgrade or first position, which is the position of consultant, showing that not only have we tried the products and loved them ourselves, but also shared them with 2 other people. The great thing about this is about as complicated as the pay plan gets, because by doing this simple action and having that repeat order each month between each of those 3 accounts, then that will qualify you for the cycle bonuses that are available, those £45 bonuses each time 900 of BV is accumulated. So again, working as we do, introducing more people. So we've helped our person 1 and 2, get started on either side of a business, and then in turn have helped them to show their people how to introduce their 2 people. So we're showing our friends, and we're showing our friends how to show their friends how to get started. And the great thing is, because of the internet marketing funnels and systems, because of the automated daily program for training, guidance, and also for qualifying people along the way, all being set up and ready for us to use on that all important launch day, then really all you need to do is make that introduction to share your story about how you've tried and loved the products, and then the rest really is taken care of. Obviously, a little bit of coaching, kindness, and caring goes a long way, but the majority of the legwork, if you will, is there and ready to go. So we then progress on. There's several steps in between here. So we have manager, and that's when we've shown 2 to help them get there 2. We have director, which is where we've helped 6 people to get started, 3 on either side of a business, and help each of those 6 to get 2 of those started. And then finally, we've got this sort of first, or ultimate, should I say, leadership position within the pay plan, within Isagenix and within the network, which is executive. So very simply, that's helping 5 people on your left side, 5 people on your right side get started, and helping each of those down each side to help 2 of their friends get started too. And that's really as far as it goes. And the really amazing thing is that at that point is where we unlock that extra 10%, if you remember a couple of slides back, the extra 10% matching bonus. So we've helped those 10 people get started. We've helped them introduce their first couple of friends. And as such, we are rewarded by the company with an extra 10% bonus on all of that volume too. Really great stuff. So that all sounds very lovely, I'm sure, but what are the catch? What are the requirements? There's always something going on in the background, isn't there, that perhaps we don't realise first of all. So what we've got here then is the things that you have to do, just to make it really clear. So you have to have an active recurring order for 100 BV or more. So that's roughly around the £150 mark. Now the thing is that if you're using the shakes, whether it's a supplement to your existing diet to get that extra nutrition into your body and feel great from it, whether it's about endurance and athleticism, whether it's about that extra bit of stamina when you're going into your spinning class or lifting weights, whatever it might be, then that'll easily be covered across that. And let's not forget, of course, that really none of this is an expenditure, as what we're ordering is a replacement, a nutritional replacement for the food we would have anyway. So if we're replacing one of our meals, whether healthy or otherwise, with a shake or perhaps a bar or a combination of snacks, whatever it might be, then that's money we're not spending on that food. So whether it's grabbing the Starbucks on the way to the train, whether it's grabbing that cheese and toasty at the local cafe, or whether it's picking up that bag of crisps on the way to the school run, whatever it might be, then that's expense that will be replaced with these products. And then have one personally enrolled friend in each leg, as described before. And then additionally, should you wish to capitalise on that 10% matching bonus, then to introduce 5 friends who have their 2 friends in. And in a nutshell, that's it. So lots of fun. So let's take a look at your business then. So this is an example of, as you can see, where we've got 2 people at the start who then gone on the right hand side, they've helped 2 people get started, perhaps in cooperation with you. Down the left hand side, it's going that little bit faster. So they've introduced someone who has introduced 2 people, who in turn, one of those people has introduced 2 people. It's all starting to move along. You can see it says £42 there. It's actually closer to 45. We're getting these new figures coming in all the time as everything's being confirmed and firmed up. So the really great features, which are really quite unique to this particular pay plan, is that ordinarily in a binary pay plan, let's imagine you had £1 million down that left hand side, that larger side, and then maybe about £5,000 as you're just getting started down that right hand leg. Well, let's say that the cycle rate was about 15,000, then that would mean your 5,000 would go against the 10,000 that is in the left-hand side, and the remainder of that volume would then be lost. They call it flushing, is a very common element of pay plans like this. However, that isn't the case with the Isagenix pay plan. All volume is held until it can be capitalised. So every time, again, let's go for this extreme example, you have £1 million to running down one leg, you have some real superstars really cracking on, and you're rapidly catching up with your right hand side of your team. And every time you produce that £5,000, or in reality, in this example, 300 BV, then the 600 from the other side is tapped into to get 900 total to pay out that £45 bonus. And every time another 300 is produced, another 45, another 300, another 45, another 300, another 45, on and on it goes. 250 times a week we can do that, which equates to that 10 or 11,000 pounds per month. It's really, truly very thrilling stuff. So just in the bottom right there, you can see that we're going to be starting off with 6 different packs. So they start with your Shake and Cleanse Basic Starter Pack, right the way up to that Value Pack, where you've got every feature, every product available to you that will be available at the UK launch for you to try, share, to try and love, and to share with your friends as well. So we'll cover those in more detail, perhaps in a different presentation. Okay, so what's this matching bonus about then? So you've got your 5 in either side of your business, you've helped them get 2. So as well as that 10 or 11,000 pounds a week, we can now actually double that to 20 or 22,000 pounds a week by that matching bonus. So it's not paid on a number of generations, it's not paid 1, 2, 3 deep, it's not paid anything like that. So if you're maxing out your business, you're doing amazing things and you're really building it and really going for it, and you're getting paid your 10 or 11,000 pounds a week, and then very nicely, because you've helped 10 other people do the same, well, that means of course that you're then going to get that 10% bonus. So in short, it equates to 100% pay rise. Not bad at all. So not only that, there's even more, as I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation. So, 20 odd thousand pounds a week, perhaps he's not going to keep the wolves from the door for very long, but it's not a bad start. I'm sure we can get by on that for now. But rather than cap or limit our potential, not mentioning the leadership pools, which, as I've said, can be hundreds or even hundreds of thousands of dollars or pounds, we are also, a very unique feature is we are permitted to re-enter into above ourselves. So as you can see in the diagram there, we start off, we're building our left and our right businesses. When that maxes out, when we're earning that 20 odd grand plus all the bonuses that go with that per week, then we can re-enter and start building that new leg. Now what happens in this position is that what was once your left and right business now becomes, in this example, just your left. And then you start to build that additional leg up to those 250 cycles again, but rather than receiving the 6% bonus at £45, we would actually receive an 18% bonus every time 900 points is accumulated between the new leg and that combined second leg, and start to earn 3 times as much. So we're really talking about incredible amounts of money if both your existing business, because you don't leave that behind, you keep it, you're still getting paid on that at your 6%, you never leave that behind, that's always yours to have and benefit from, but you have this additional one as well. So in essence, it's like having 2 businesses within the same opportunity, albeit paying across each other. And then you can start knocking on towards the more £50,000 a week, and I'm sure at that point then we can start to feel wonderful. But not only that, should you then go on, whether it be through international expansion, from finding new emerging rock stars out there in the business, or whatever method it might be, then you can re-enter as many times as you might like. So at 50 grand a week in this simple example here, then that's really great. But should you wish to add another £30,000 a week, or any amount there between the 50 and the 80 that we're now talking about, then you're welcome to do that as well. If you want another 30 on top of that, you're welcome to do that as well. So just to give you an idea of context, that all sounds very well in theory, doesn't it? So I know that obviously I have sort of experience in other network marketing companies. There are hundreds of people that perhaps top out the pay plan and do really well, incredible leaders. However, just to put a little bit of comparison to that, is that in Isagenix there have been more than 200 millionaires made. So that's 200, not in terms of turnover per month or year, but in terms of actual pounds paid into the bank. Multi-millionaires, but more than 200 have made a million or more that belong to that exclusive club. Not only that, the company turned over nearly about $920 million last year across the 10 countries it's opening, but the company plan is to open obviously here in the UK end of April, moving on very swiftly to mainland Europe, having established a $30 million commitment to the country, or to the continent, should I say. They've established a London HQ for us all to use and enjoy as a training space, as well as the head of operations. There's the distribution centre is set up already in the Netherlands, ready and waiting to go for that 2 or 3 day shipping at a flat rate, which we'll all enjoy. As well as providing more than 20 corporate UK staff from that very first day to provide us with telephone and email support, as well as the managerial functions that are necessary to make these things work. An incredible team who are going to help us to succeed and see our business drive forward, getting that all-important product to us at that all-important point. Okay. So, thank you very much for that. If you would care to refer back to your friend who sent you this presentation, and they'll be more than happy to answer any questions you might have. And until that time, I look forward to meeting you in person, to sharing more information with you, and I hope to see you in the groups and also in real life really very soon. That's all for now. Bye.